Happy May, Gemini. This reading is for Gemini Sun, Moon, and Rising signs. It is a general reading and will probably not resonate with all of you Gemini out there. I want to take this time to thank you all for liking, commenting, watching, subscribing to the videos that I've posted thus far. I really, really appreciate it and really enjoy reading the feedback. This month I am using the Gilded Tarot along with the Angel Tarot cards and Goddess Guidance Oracle cards. Okay, Gemini for May of 2017. Wow. And at the bottom of the deck, we have Justice. Okay, to start with, we have the Eight of Pentacles. And it is paired with the Two of Wands. So it looks like, Geminis, for the month of May, to begin with anyway, you have a decision to make about a path that you've been on. There in this picture, there's a literal fork in the road, and you're going to have to decide which way to go. I don't think either way is a bad way. I think it's just going to be, I don't know, whatever decision feels right at the time. And you may not even know that you're at a crossroads and you feel like you're just continuing on the path that you've been on, when in reality you have chosen which path to take. And I don't think you're actually going to realize that you've made a decision until you're so far along the path that there's no turning back. However, whatever path you decide to take, I think is leading to some abundance. What I'm feeling from this, I don't know if there are some investments or it almost feels like some kind of financial investment is maturing. Some dividends or something is actually maturing, and I feel like there is a switching around or moving around of some finances or some assets, because this seems to be a theme throughout May. You have, for the first 3 weeks, you have things dealing with finances here. So maybe you've been working with a financial advisor. Maybe you've been investing in retirement. Maybe you're retiring now, and you are starting to collect on a pension, or like I said, something's maturing and you're able to take some of the interest and reinvest that. Or I just feel like there's some kind of movement with actual money. And this doesn't feel like new money. It feels like something that you've had invested, or had placed somewhere. Maybe it was in a house. Maybe you purchased a house 25 years ago. Mortgage is paid off, you don't owe anything on it, and you've decided to sell it. So now there's an increase in the liquid asset. You have the cash instead of the house. So I feel like there's some kind of movement financially for you. And maybe that's the fork in the road. Maybe it was a retirement, or maybe it was the sale of an asset. And maybe, it was just it wasn't even a choice at this point to retire, for instance. It was just well, I have my 30 years in at this company. The next step is to retire, whereas you could have decided to stay on for another year or another 5 years or whatever. But you just went with the flow that had already been planned in your mind for the last 10 years. You knew your retirement date, you were sticking with it. It was a fact. So instead of realizing that you had the choice, you just kind of continued along that path. Next, we have the Page of Pentacles, and it's paired with the Empress. The Empress is all about creativity, starting projects. For those of you that are fertile, it could be conception or pregnancy, because the Empress is a very feminine, maternal type person. And it's paired with the Page of Pentacles. So for some of you, maybe financially, it's the time. Maybe you and your spouse have been waiting for the right time to conceive because you wanted to make sure that all your finances were in order and that you could actually afford to have a child before you got pregnant. Maybe this is time for that to be happening. Or maybe because you have been able to retire or you've sold a house, the finances are there for you to start a new project. Maybe you are a very creative person artistically, and maybe you've wanted to start a business in visual arts. Maybe you've wanted to paint and sell your paintings, or maybe you do some other kind of artistic thing that you've wanted to do for yourself as a hobby and for work. And now that you have the financial backing, you're able to start that. So May is really a time for changes and starts for you so far. For about the third week of May, we now have the Three of Pentacles. And it is paired with the Eight of Wands. So it may be even time, if you haven't sold your house, maybe you're just retiring, there's an inflow of cash for you, and you're really updating or repairing things on your house. Maybe you're getting ready to sell and you need to freshen things up with new flooring and new wall color, or maybe you're redoing a kitchen or bathroom to increase resale value. It's this time that it's happening. Maybe that's the creativity. You're stepping out of your comfort zone and repainting the walls a color that's more neutral instead of the bright colors that you like, that you've been living in. But paired with the Eight of Wands, it's telling me that maybe there is you almost have to defend your decisions and your thoughts. If you have a partner that you are living with or you own a house with and you want to make these little changes, maybe you have to defend your decisions. Like, well, we need to change the wall color because of this. Or, yes, we have to actually spend money on our outdated kitchen if we want to sell it for as much as we want for it. So I feel like there is some conversation going back and forth about the decisions that you're making. And maybe decisions is the wrong word. Maybe it's the thoughts that you're having, because I think that it's not going to be a decision until you and your partner have talked about it and are on the same page about it. Finally, for the end of May, we have the Queen of Swords, and she is paired with the World. So the Queen of Swords is someone who is um, an intelligent person. It could be someone that's an air sign, um, but I feel that that's too general. I feel like this is a person in your life who spends a lot of time thinking, reading, writing. Maybe someone that is continually going back to school, always learning, trying to know as much as they possibly can. This may actually be a financial advisor to you, which is why all of this is coming into play, and all this fluidity of assets is here, is because of this person's actions, words, thoughts, um, and it's really going to give you a lot of opportunities coming up. I do actually feel that there is going to be travel for you toward the end of May. Um, and maybe it's just the planning phase of things that's at the end of May, but I feel like it's extended. I don't feel like this is a week away in the Caribbean, or just going to, if you live in the US, going from one state to another for a visit with family. I feel that this is like an extended trip, like going overseas for a month. Maybe you are going to visit Europe for a month and going to various countries. Maybe you're going to Australia, New Zealand. But I feel like you are spending a significant amount of time away from home. Maybe this is your reward for working for 30 years and being able to retire. But this is what's coming up for the end of May. So, all in all, May for you is looking like a great, great month. Your finances are in order, you've made good decisions, or you've listened to someone and taken their advice, and they've made good decisions for you. Okay, so for clarification, validation, or additional information, we are pulling a few other cards. These are the Angel Tarot cards by Doreen Virtue and Radley Valentine. Okay. And these are the Goddess Guidance Oracle cards by Doreen Virtue. So first we have life experience, sitting here with Ishtar. So life experience is a significant life event happening, or revelation that leads to change. So if you are retiring or collecting on some investments or selling a house that you don't owe anything on, it's a significant life event that's coming into play. However, that being paired with boundaries says that this is a significant amount of money that you have here. And you're going to have to say no to people. If you have adult children that are suddenly hurting for money and they're coming to you saying, "Can you please help?" You need to be able to draw the line. There really is a line. You can help out without going overboard, but I feel like there are going to be people that are probably asking for more than they should be asking for. So make sure that you're able to stand up for yourself and say no when you don't want to help. Next, we have the Magician paired with Isis. So the Magician says you're ready, you have the resources. So if, again, going back to this retirement thing, if you've been maybe afraid to retire because you think that you're not going to be financially stable enough, you need to let that go because this whole reading says you're fine. I have no doubt that if you are retiring, starting to collect a pension, that you probably still have investments that are still making money. So I really don't feel that you're ever going to be struggling. Um, and it's paired with Isis, which is about past life. So if there is a fear around money or about taking a chance on a new venture, um, I think it does have to do with something ingrained. Maybe as a child, your family didn't have a lot of money, and you saw the struggle. You need to know that that's not where or who you are, and letting that go is only going to help you move forward. Finally, we have the Three of Air, which is probably about the only somewhat negative card in this entire reading, and that is paired with Athena. So the Three of Air is like the Three of Swords. So it's in the traditional tarot, it's the heart with the three swords sticking into it. Um, and it's about great sadness, needing to heal. Um, how this fits in, I'm not positive. So as the clarifier, I got the Three of Water. So another three, um, which is the Three of Cups, and that's all about celebration. Wedding, graduation, birth announcement, something like that. Maybe this has more to do with, because the Empress is here, maybe someone you know announced a pregnancy, but then ended up miscarrying. Or maybe people were planning a wedding and then at the last minute decided to break off the engagement in the relationship. So I think the Three of Air is just something that it may not pertain directly to you, but maybe it is about people that are around you. So maybe you're there comforting people who are going through a hard time. Um, However, that is paired with Athena, who is all about inner wisdom and knowing that you know what to do and how to help out in these situations. Again, here where people are going to be asking you to help out, this is more of a financial burden on you, whereas this is more emotional. I think just being there to listen and to offer advice is what's going to be needed later on in the month with the people that are around you who are emotionally really struggling. Just make sure that, again, you have the boundaries there so that you don't take on all of their pain personally. You can help them through it, but don't take the burden on for them. They're not learning anything or coping with it by you taking it all on. That's going to be really hard, especially if it's one of your children going through a rough time. But you can still be there and have your boundaries. So, Gemini, I think that May is really looking up for you, knowing that financially you are secure and able to do what you need to do is a great start to spring and summer, and actually, from the looks of things, the rest of the year for you. Enjoy the freedom, enjoy the you time. And if you would like any more information or want a private reading, you can contact me at traveler with two L's 1230 at gmail.com, and I will get back to you. If you want to leave comments, let me know how this resonates with you. I would really appreciate that too. Anyway, hope you have a great May, Gemini. We'll see you in a couple of weeks.